Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I want to say this is episode 25. I don't think I counted last episode. I don't think I said it was episode 24, but I think this is episode 25. So welcome back. Thank you for joining. This is a big number. Like, these episodes are racking up, but thank you so much for listening every week. If you do come back and join us, I am still banished to the office to record these episodes, so it doesn't look very pretty, it doesn't look exciting, but our new puppy is settling in and he's sleeping, and there is no way in hell I'm going to wake him up and have that thing tearing at my ankles and throwing himself all my furniture just yet. I need to record a podcast episode. I need to do some work. I need to just chill. So we're here. We are still in my very fancy corner of my office. So thank you for joining. Thank you so much for coming back. If you've listened before, if you are brand new, then thank you so much for joining. My name is Abby. I am a wedding planner. I run a business called Elegance Unlimited. I plan weddings with personality, weddings that feel like home, weddings that don't always have to follow the traditions if you don't want them to. And we really focus on breaking free from the confines of what you feel like you have to do and making intentional decisions that really feel like they serve you. So if that sounds like you, if that sounds like something that you're going to be interested in, that really sounds like your kind of vibe, then you're in the right place. Stick around, give us a follow and a subscribe and whatever else you're supposed to do. With that being said, if there is anything that you want more from me, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to follow me on Instagram, if you want to sign up to the newsletter or join our private Facebook group for the podcast, all of the links for that are in the show notes below, so you can go and find that whenever you're ready. When you finish the episode would be ideal, but you can do it whenever. So yeah. Today, we are talking about wedding themes, particularly, do you need a wedding theme? Do I need a theme for my wedding day? We're going to talk about it all today. Quick, snappy episodes, remember, because I don't have much time at the moment. Puppy is keeping me busy. But yeah, we're going to get straight on into it, and hopefully I'm going to give you some inspo. So, wedding themes. I feel like when people say wedding themes or my wedding has a theme, everyone goes, oh, because you instantly think they're having a Disney themed wedding, or they're having a Star Wars themed wedding, or a Great Gatsby themed wedding, and it's going to be really kind of gimmicky and really cheesy and not very fancy or elegant or expensive looking at all, right? And I might be wrong, but I know that the word theme, I think, has certain connotations around it that people don't necessarily dig. They don't vibe with that, okay? Essentially, what I'm going to say straight off the bat is, if somebody said to me, does my wedding need a theme? I would be saying yes. Absolutely yes. If you want a wedding day that feels consistent, intentional, expensive, luxurious, all of these things that you probably wouldn't associate with the word wedding theme. But if somebody said that to me, does my wedding need a theme? I would be saying yes. Choose one right now. Do it. And I'm going to talk about that. Let's talk about it. Yes, you can have a wedding theme that gives you the Beauty and the Beast wedding, or it gives you the Star Wars theme, or you've gone for the American Diner theme, or, like I said, Great Gatsby, whatever theme you want to go for. You can have weddings like that, and people do have weddings like that, and that's amazing for them. They're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're lovely, it's full of love. Who cares? Like, that's their choice, okay? Those aren't necessarily the type of wedding themes I'm thinking of when I say wedding theme, okay? When I say wedding theme, and I'm going to say it again, wedding theme, I mean, turn that Disney wedding theme into a romantic castle theme. Or turn the Star Wars themed day into a celestial, elegant day, right? Think about the ways that I'm flipping the words that I'm using to describe it now. I'm not going to be going around to everyone saying, yeah, we're having a Star Wars themed day, but maybe we're just integrating celestial elements and you can have certain touches to Star Wars in your day if you're huge Star Wars fans. Maybe you've got like certain little like lightsabers, and I don't know much about Star Wars, but maybe you've got little things on there to do with Star Wars, integrated into your invitations. Maybe your favors are to do with that. Maybe certain songs or music that makes you think of that, whatever. You can still integrate those things. You can still have the theme in there. But if you're wanting a theme that doesn't feel too cheesy and cheap feeling, I'm going to put it out there, then there are ways to do that. You flip it, right? Maybe you're turning that Great Gatsby theme into a 1920s cocktail party vibe. See how different they sound when they're saying, oh, what kind of style did you go for your wedding? Oh, we went for like a cocktail party 1920s vibe. People might make that jump and go, oh, like Great Gatsby themed. And you can say, no. Same era, sure, but it's more elegant, it's more elevated, it's more intentional. You've got like, you could tell people to wear certain things to match that theme. You can have the cocktails, you can have the music, like the band playing and all of those things, but it still feels like a wedding. It doesn't feel like a party that has a theme. And there's a big difference there. Again, I'm going to preface this now by saying I could not care less. It does not bother me if you want to go down that, kind of big, bright, fun, cheesy wedding theme vibe. I couldn't care. I will help you plan it. I'm so excited for you. It doesn't bother me. But if you are wanting something that's a bit more elegant, a bit more elevated, a bit more formal party and wedding vibes and less kind of gimmicky vibes, if we're going to put the stereotypes on it that way, then this is the way you do it, okay? Flip that Disney princess vibe. Maybe you do want to feel like a Disney princess on your wedding day, but you don't want to go around saying, oh, yeah, well, our wedding's Disney princess themed, because people will go, oh, okay. Maybe you go, yeah, we're going for like a castle, very romantic castle themed day, and you can wear the tiara and you can have the princess ball gown, and it's in lovely castle ruins, and you've got the long tables and you're being served to like kings and queens with your formal, 3, 4, 5 course meal, whatever you want to do. I think there are ways to flip the idea of a theme and flip the word and what it means into something that feels much more intentional, much more elegant, and much more special. That's just my opinion. And that's what I encourage couples to do. That's what I help people do. I think even intentionally or unintentionally, most weddings end up having a theme. You just maybe haven't labeled it. And you should label it. You should be. And you don't need to use the word theme if it doesn't sit right with you, okay? You can use style. You can use vibe. I like using the word vibe because it's like, what's the vibe of the day? Oh, well, it's cocktail party 1920s vibes. Vibes, yeah? What's the vibe of the day? Oh, we're going for like a really elegant, like celestial space, kind of lots of things integrated, but really luxurious at the same time. Amazing. And what's your wedding vibe? Oh, we're going for a really nice romantic, kind of castle vibes. We've got a beautiful venue. We're going big ball gowns. Lovely. That's your vibe. Yeah? Beach themed, coastal escape. Well, I mean, the options are absolutely endless, but that's your vibe. If you don't like the word theme, don't use it. I don't use it often. I use the word vibe or style or, because when I say theme to people, they go, oh no, we're not having a themed wedding. I'm like, no, that's not what I meant, but you do need one. So yes, you do need a theme. What you need when I say you need a theme is you need consistency. You need something that ties through from the very beginning of your day all the way through to the end. All of the touches, all of the styling, the music, the food, the outfits, everything ties together and makes sense to go together. You're not just kind of planning this really lovely pastel pink themed day with like gentle pops of lavender in the day, and you've got all these lovely kind of floaty dresses and nice pastel flowers, and the music's really gentle, and then you're not just kind of throwing in like neon green bunting into the dance floor area, because everyone will be like, oh, questionable choice. If you want to, again, if you want to do it, I'm all ears. Who cares what I think? You do what you want to do. But for a lot of people that come to me and a lot of people that are planning a wedding, you want something that feels consistent, right? You want something that feels intentional. You want something that feels like every single element is being curated for you as a couple for your wedding day, and it feels really magic. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to be creating consistency. If you don't, you end up with a messy day. You end up with elements that don't make sense, things that are kind of thrown in and think, oh, that doesn't really go with the rest of the day. That doesn't really fit the vibe. And people notice those things. People might not notice all the other consistent elements that you've pulled together as one, but the day as a whole, people will notice that and they'll think, oh my gosh, every detail was just planned and made so much sense. Every detail was perfect. There was nothing that felt like a bad decision, right? Everything just made sense. That's why you need a theme. Essentially, an intentional day feels more organized. It feels more like wow factor for your guests, and it feels more expensive. A lot of the time people are working to a budget. Maybe you're trying to do things lower cost. Maybe, you're adjusting things or deciding actually we can't afford this, we can't afford that. How do we still make our day feel expensive? That's how you do it. Consistency. Through your styling, through the planning of your day. You're not going to be doing, if you want the princess ball gown, castle themed wedding day, you're not likely going to be having food trucks to serve your food. You might, again, fantastic idea, I'm here for it. But if you're wanting something that feels consistent and that maybe feels like this whole day is wrapped up in like a fairy tale, you're going to be doing the sit-down meal. And you're going to be being served to and catered to, like I said, like kings and queens. The kind of serve yourself buffet, graze board style things or the food trucks maybe aren't going to sit right with you for that. That's absolutely fine. And like I've said, if you want to go all out with a wedding theme or a wedding vibe and you want to go full Beauty and the Beast, that's been your dream forever and your partner's on board, please do it. If you want to go, like the amount of times I see people have like Lord of the Rings weddings and they've got like the elf ears on and they're all dressed up and they have like medieval weddings and they've got the big banquet tables. They look incredible when they're done well and they don't feel like you've just thrown a load of stuff together and it's super budget and cheap. When they're done well, they can look really expensive and amazing and they can still feel like a wedding. It's just different, right? Who wants to go to the same wedding again and again and again? The amount of couples I speak to and they say, oh, we just feel like we're going to wedding after wedding after wedding and everything's the same. Everything's the same. We could be at anyone's wedding. Like they come in, they do this, they do that. It looks like this. And then we go home and it's not very exciting. And I feel like it's really easy to get stuck in that cycle of just doing the same thing again and again and again, right? This is how you switch things up. This is how you make things personal as well, because you're not just choosing a theme that doesn't resonate with you. If you're going Lord of the Rings, it's because you're both crazy about Lord of the Rings, right? If you're going 1920s vibes, it's because you just love that era and you love the way those clothes make you feel and the vibes and the music and the drinks. And you're not just doing it for the hell of it. You're doing it because it's something that resonates with the both of you. If you're going for the coastal beach escape, seaside vibes for your wedding, it's because you both love the beach. If you've never been and you don't like the beach, you're not going to be doing that for your wedding theme, are you? It's intentional and it's personal to you. So once you have a theme or once you have an idea of how you want that to be for your day, write it down. I like to use the 3 words thing. So maybe, like we've said, 1920s cocktail party, romantic castle escape, vintage warehouse party. I don't know. Could be anything. Think of those or a short phrase. It doesn't have to be 3 words, but it's a short phrase that you can essentially break down your entire day and all the elements that come with it into this one phrase. And everything makes sense for that. Everything fits that. You can bring in any of your elements and say, does the dress fit that theme? Does the stationery fit that theme? Does the food match that theme? What about the music? What about the venue? Yes, they all fit that theme. Once you've got that phrase, once you've got that, that thing, the words, you want to mood board it. Get yourself on Pinterest, Google, go out and find some real life inspiration, whatever you want. Get some visual images onto a big piece of paper or onto a Canva thing or onto a Pinterest board, something that you can keep coming back to every time you are booking suppliers, you're looking for inspiration, you're thinking, does this fit? Does this make sense? Come back to that vision. You can adjust it and you can, change things along the way and flesh it out and expand it. But if you're looking for something that matches, this is a really, really good way to do it. And if you're still struggling to kind of grasp, how do I know if it fits the theme? How do I know if it makes sense? Sometimes you need the visuals to help you, because sometimes you'll be thinking, yeah, well, these are the runners we're going to get. We're going to get Hessian placemats or, table runners, the wicker texture, whatever, something really kind of nice and rustic. But you've gone for silk, really soft, gentle, kind of floaty dresses or chair sashes or something, and you're thinking, well, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't match the vibe. Maybe your napkins are really kind of silky. I don't know why you'd have silk napkins, but maybe you do. They match that same vibe, right? Unless it's intentional. You wouldn't be going for something super rustic for your entire wedding day. Nice old wood. You've gone for like beams in your venue and everything's rustic, and you've gone for like the cute flowers and the little jars and things, and everything feels very vintage and cute. And then you're just whacking in a load of like really modern bright pink candlesticks at the end, or like things that you just think, doesn't match the vibe. And that's how it gets messy. That's how you get off track with your overall theme and the vibe of the day, right? That's when you think, well, we're just now chucking in elements because we think we need this or we think we want it, and we're just putting it in and hoping for the best. And it doesn't always pay off. Sometimes it does. Again, if you're intentional, doesn't always. But I think having this down on paper, I say this for every decision, like when you've got your priorities written down of, we want to prioritize good food, we want to prioritize a great venue, we want to prioritize having an open bar for everyone, whatever the case may be. When you've got your priorities, you keep coming back to those. And when you're going to make a decision on, are we going to go over budget for our stationery? Well, is it a priority? No. Then we find something else that's more into our budget, or we find a way to do it lower cost. This is the same thing. When you have your wedding vibe, your wedding theme, write it down, have that mood board, make a Pinterest board with all of the images that go with that theme. Title the board your phrase, romantic castle escape. Title it that, and then every time you come back to it, you're thinking, does it fit that theme? Does it make sense? Do we go for the horse and carriage, or do we go for the vintage Volkswagen camper? It's not really the right vibe. If we're wanting to stay on theme, we'll go for the horse and carriage, you know? And again, you could still go for the camper. Like, who cares? Like, if you can make it work and it fits what you want to do and you think it's incredible and you love it, do that. This is purely for the people that want something consistent all the way through from A to Z, right? That's what I would be doing. And for me, if I'm mood boarding for clients, if I am putting together ideas, if I'm bringing together inspo, I'm always thinking about what their vibe is. I'm never just throwing ideas at them without knowing, well, what do you want? I'm not suggesting that they go for something super retro and vintage if their whole wedding style has been kind of gentle, pretty pastel princess vibes or rustic vibes, you know, beachside, ocean styling. And I'm saying, yeah, chuck in a load of vintage this and chuck in a load of contemporary warehouse industrial vibes. It's not going to fit the theme. So why would I suggest it? I always have to make sure that I'm checking in with them and making sure that it suits them and that it's the right choice for them and their day, and that it's, like I said earlier on in the episode, that it's something that's personal for them. It makes sense for their personalities and their hobbies and their interests. I'm not just chucking something Lord of the Rings themed at them when they've never seen it. Why would we do that? We wouldn't. So the same goes for any kind of general wedding theme. When you've got down, we're going for a summer wedding, we're going for the like pink and like mocha brown vibes because that's very in right now. We're going for like simple flowers. We're going for this, that, and the other. We're not going to be chucking in things that don't make sense. And if you're ever conflicted about that, coming back to this main point of what does make sense, what's going to work, how do we navigate this, how do we do this so that it does work? And if we're feeling too overwhelmed and we're not sure if it's the right choice, sit on it, think about it for a bit, find some other choices and think what might fit. The visuals for me, when I am thinking, is this going to make sense to go as like styling in the meal space? Is this going to make sense in the ceremony space? I'm always thinking about what else is there. What does the space already have? What are we bringing into it? What does the dress look like? What kind of music are we having? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be walking down the aisle to drum and bass if you're having that romantic princess wedding. You might. And again, I love that. Please invite me to that wedding. But if you want something that feels on theme, then that's the choice you would make. I'm not against going down the aisle to drum and bass if that's what you love and that's what serves you. It would be wow factor. Everyone would be like, oh, wasn't expecting this. Or maybe they would because it's so you and that's what makes it personal. Whatever works, right? The ultimate point that I'm trying to make here is that you need a vibe, you need an atmosphere, you need a style, you need a theme that feels right for you as a couple, makes sense, that you can understand, that you can easily make decisions around. It's not too complex, it's not too confusing, it's simple. This is what we're going for. We're going for Western country vibes. We're going for vintage rock and roll vibes. Maybe we're going for the like real gothic dark vibes. Well, then you're not going to be bringing in the pretty pastel pink flowers. You're going to be going for something darker. And you're making these decisions about your style and your theme because it's what you like anyway. So in theory, you're making your life really easy by just narrowing down your choices. And the decision overwhelm can get really, really tough with wedding stuff. So I think as well, this makes things much easier to make a decision because you're saying, well, actually, if we're sticking on theme, I've just limited my options down from 15 to 3 because nothing else really fits that vibe. None of the suppliers really make sense for the vibe that we're going for. So now I have 3 choices I can speak to and see which feels best because they all have experience doing Gothic weddings, or they all have experience doing, I've seen on their Instagram, they've done loads of country and Western weddings and it looks gorgeous. So I'm going to go for them because they know what they're doing, right? The decisions are being made for you much easier than you just having like 20 different people and going, oh my gosh, how do I know who's going to be best? They're all probably going to be great. So you just need to find the right one for you as a couple. Oh boy, could I go on and on and on. Ultimately, guys, choose your theme. If you're struggling with it and you want to have a brainstorm and you want to bounce some ideas around, send me a DM. Let's talk about it. I'm more than happy to help you kind of narrow that down and find something that works for you. But essentially, if you ask me as a wedding planner, yes, I think you need a theme. I hope this was helpful. I would love to do another episode on this, talking about it in a bit more detail when I've got a bit more time to spare, a bit more time to ramble. I would love that. In the meantime, again, I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed it, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you come back next week. We are 25 episodes in, as I've said. I have no plans to stop. I just want to keep going and going and going. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, any topics that you think would be helpful, drop me a message, let me know. Otherwise, I will keep brainstorming for more ideas, and I will be back next week with more wedding inspo, wedding ideas, wedding rambles, whatever floats your boat. I will be back. So have a great week planning until then, and I will speak to you then. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind-the-scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!